If you're looking to lose weight and are considering using cycling to help you get there, then congratulations, because too many people use diets only to lose weight. In the end, you lose weight by burning more calories than you eat. In my view, one of the reasons people end up breaking diets is because they're not exercising, and their normal daily movement isn't sufficient to burn off the calorie intake of the day. And because of that, the diet feels like it's not enough food compared to what they normally eat, and they end up losing heart and giving up. Losing weight through cycling is going to be more successful initially if you're particularly overweight. It's a simple fact that for somebody who's very overweight and starts exercising, the rate of weight loss initially will be high. This is why you hear of some amazing weight loss stories, but you're never going to hear of a person who lost 6 stone in a year when they're only 12 stone in the first place. So when looking to lose weight through any kind of exercise, you need to set some realistic expectations. Otherwise, you're going to think you're failing when you're not, and possibly giving up when you were doing reasonably well. Expect the progress to be slow and gradual. It's important too that you're taking up cycling because you think you'll enjoy it, not because it's a way of losing weight. Losing weight should be a positive outcome rather than the reason for starting on the bike in the first place. Quite simply, if you're not enjoying something, you're not going to stick to it. Think about why you see so many second-hand exercise bikes on sale. It's because somebody bought it to lose weight rather than to do something they thought they would enjoy, hated doing it, and stopped. When I first started out and I did want to get fitter and lose some weight, I had the choice, in my opinion, of running, swimming or cycling. Running was too much joint impact for somebody with an already failing back. Swimming for me was exceedingly boring. My son was a cyclist at the time, so it seemed like something I could do with him, see a bit of the countryside, and hopefully along the way lose a bit of weight. So for a lot of people, the low impact of a fantastic cardio workout that a bike can give you is really important. It can boost your heart and lung health, build your muscles, and also lower your levels of stress along the way. It's a great way of setting a flamethrower to the fat and extra calories you've been eating. When setting yourself a goal, consider setting a goal which isn't about number of kilograms or pounds lost. If you haven't been very active, then after an initial drop in weight, you'll start to develop muscle, and it's possible for a while there'll be no discernible weight loss. This happened to me, but I could see definitely in the mirror changes in my body, particularly around my face, which showed that I was clearly reshaping myself and losing inches, but not necessarily losing weight. So think about a target which might be based around inches lost or your body fat percentage, for example, which can easily be measured on modern weighing scales. That way, you're less likely to be put off when the actual weight loss begins to be more difficult, and there are so much more beneficial changes still going on within your body because of your exercise regime. You might even set targets that are not even related to the changes in your body. Many cyclists use an app called Strava or other similar apps where you can follow your progress based on your performance over certain segments of road. Either how much quicker you're climbing a particular hill, how much faster you completed a particular part of a route than before. Basically, if you're making progress on these by regularly cycling, you're more than likely gaining strength and muscle and probably losing weight as a byproduct of this without actually focusing on the weight. So What kind of cycling exercise is best for losing weight? There are two schools of thought out there concerning what is known as the fat burning zone. You can look at my previous video about heart rate zones to better understand the detail. But basically, the least energetic bouts of exercise, which are zones 1 and 2, are classed as the fat burning zones, because the body is using your existing fat to fuel the exercise rather than any carbohydrates that you've stored. This needs to be treated with caution though, because if you don't do enough of it, then you may burn some body fat, but the carbohydrates that you've ingested have got to go somewhere. And also, because of this type of exercise isn't particularly energetic, you've got to do a hell of a lot of it to burn off any serious amount of calories, which is a particular problem if you're limited in time that you could commit to this, which is the counter opinion of the fat burning zone being the best way to lose weight. Building up your endurance by cycling a lot in zone 2 will contribute to your weight loss, but more importantly, it will contribute to you getting out and about and exploring and enjoying the experience of cycling, if you have indeed decided to venture outdoors on the bike rather than using an indoor exercise bike. And therefore, you're more likely to keep it up in the long term. To really make some headway with weight loss, you need to be pushing yourself with some high intensity work. This is all relative to your current level of fitness. It's all about pushing beyond your current limit. So you'll find what felt like high intensity cycling in the early days will ultimately feel easy if you stick at it. But that means you then need to go faster and harder to still get the benefit of the high intensity. Basically, you've got to get the heart rate pounding away to burn those calories. Many people will combine the high intensity in what we call interval training, which is not something you can keep up for a long time. Although because of that, it's useful for people who haven't got a lot of time, who can fit some really worthwhile calorie burning exercise into a lunch break perhaps. So think about cycling as fast as you possibly can for about 30 to 60 seconds, then just slow down, do 2 or 3 minutes at an easy pace to lower the heart rate, and then do the same again, and repeat the process for about 20 to 30 minutes. Don't make a habit of doing it every time you get on the bike though, because you'll soon learn to dislike cycling intensely if that's the case. Remember, it needs to be enjoyable. So those longer, leisurely sightseeing bike rides need to be an essential part of your plan. You don't want to be completely spent at the end of every single ride you do. You're not going to drive a car 300 miles on 200 miles worth of fuel. Your body works in exactly the same way. The difference is, quite often people will empty their fuel tank in the car before filling up. But with your body, to keep your metabolism ticking over at a steady rate, you need to be eating steadily and little throughout the day, rather than one huge meal at the end of the day. By stoking your metabolism regularly during the day, you'll burn more fat and keep your energy high, which is crucial because if you're working and you tend to do your rides in the evening, not eating properly in the day may lead to your energy levels being so low you just won't bother. Carbohydrates is what you need for fuel, but don't neglect protein, particularly after a ride, as this helps the body recover after the exercise and repair the muscles. I joke a lot about cake being essential cycling fuel, and although it's a traditional part of the cycling world, stopping for a coffee and a cake, don't go overboard with it, because sugary food may give you energy, but has little value as far as nutrition is concerned. So try to limit the stuff which will give you plenty of energy if you're burning off tons of calories on a big event. But if your main aim is to lose weight through cycling, keep the cake to a minimum. Stick to stuff like bananas or other less sugary carbohydrate foods. Your metabolism will still be working hard after a tough workout. So you will also get the benefit of fat and calories being burned after you've finished exercising. But you need to let this happen on its own and understand that although you might be in a new world where you're eating more than you were before to fuel rides, but still losing weight, that needs to be just on days when you're exercising hard. I cycled 14 days in a row from Land's End to John O'Groats. I felt like I was eating my own body weight in food every day, but it was heavily encouraged to get us through a grueling 2 weeks of constant cycling. After cycling more than we'd ever cycled before, we all felt like we had put on weight and actually had. However, the weight loss the week after was incredible because the metabolism was in overdrive, but we were now not shoving in tons of cake and other rubbish. So, eat differently on non-ride days. And avoid on-bike fueling if it isn't needed. You'll hear a lot about fueling your rides from people like me going on about coffee and cake. But rides of under an hour, or when you're fitter, under 90 minutes, don't require any extra food to fuel that ride. The science behind it all is on longer rides than 90 minutes, you only need 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour because that's all the body can burn. Any more will just add fat and you'll put on weight. So it's not about eat as much as you can, it's about eating what's appropriate for the length and type of riding that you're doing. For people who are working, a short ride before breakfast is a great way of getting your weight loss target by doing fasted training. Without eating, your body has to use its stores of fat because you haven't loaded the carbs into the fuel tank. Bear in mind though, this does need to be a short and not intense ride, or you're going to feel absolutely awful because you've hit the wall very quickly without any fuel. And you don't really want to be turning up at work in a sweaty mess. So 30 to 60 minutes at an easy pace is fine. If you're one of those people who have the option to commute to work by bike, you could do a fasted session on the route to work, as long as you've got somewhere where you can eat when you get to work. Therefore, you get an exercise in a time where you'll be doing something anyway, travelling to work. And you'll be doing your bit to save the planet. Please avoid overtraining and undereating. If you're looking to lose weight, it can be very tempting to beast yourself on the bike and cut your food intake down. Neither of those are sensible or healthy, and certainly disastrous if you do them both at the same time. This will just add to your non-enjoyment of what you're doing, and you'll feel exhausted, which will surely make you give up before you've achieved what you want to achieve. So a lot of this is about balancing your cycling across a range of intensity, from the short high-intensity sessions to nice country lane bimbles for a few hours on a Sunday afternoon, and eating the right amount of food and the right kinds of food to make those rides a pleasurable experience, and using the bike instead of the car on occasion will all contribute. Commuting, popping to the shops, any short journeys really. Just like trying to lose weight with diets only, critics will always say it's not about the diet, it's about the change of lifestyle, and that's exactly true here. The best thing about cycling is how much fun it is. It can be such a sociable and pleasurable experience that you forget you're actually exercising half the time, and it doesn't become something you're doing just to lose weight. And finally, some people give up on exercise too early because it makes them too tired. Well, I've got news for you. Of course it will. That's perfectly normal. Which brings me to the final piece of the jigsaw for weight loss and getting fitter on the bike. And that is sleep. You will be more tired, so don't fight it. Don't give up on it. Just get more sleep. Research has shown that people getting 6 to 8 hours of sound sleep at night are more successful at keeping weight off, and people who can't sleep are more likely to feel hungry. I'm sure we've all had those nighttime munchies where a raid on the fridge is the only answer. By feeling more tired after some vigorous exercise, there's a good possibility you'll actually sleep all through the night, and the fridge can gather dust for a change. And in sports science, they all say that sleeping is when the body and muscles repair after the exercise, and repair to a higher level than before. So sleep really is very important here. You've probably already got the message that cycling needs to be first and foremost something you enjoy, and therefore you'll carry on doing it even if your weight loss progress isn't going as planned, because you will have those times where it doesn't seem to be working for you, and if you're doing something you don't enjoy, you're just going to stop doing it. Because you're enjoying your cycling, you'll carry on doing it anyway, and your results will improve. Remember to track your progress in different ways, not just on how much weight you're losing, body fat percentage being an example, and measure this the same time of the day, but not necessarily every day. When you're not massively overweight, don't expect immediate big shifts in weight. I'm not massively overweight, but I'm still overweight for my size. When I was training for the jog, I decided I'd get up the hills easier, with a bit less around the midriff, and just cut out bread and cheese from my diet for a few months, replacing it with omelettes and salad at lunchtimes. And over a period of a few months, I lost a few kilograms just by doing that. But it's important to know it probably wouldn't have made a huge amount of difference if I wasn't doing the cycling as well. We've all heard stories of unbelievable turnarounds in somebody's life due to massive weight loss. And for somebody who likes cycling, it's great to hear stories like that, where cycling has played a big part along that path. I'll be following this video up with another one about a chap who likes to be known as Shep, who's allowed me to tell his pretty exceptional story, so look out for that coming soon. So good luck with your own personal weight loss or fitness improvement quest. Enjoy turning those pedals as your preferred method of achieving this, and have a great time doing it. That's all from me for now. If you've enjoyed the video and found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you can and haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd be really grateful if you did that. So happy cycling, and I'll see you soon.